I wanted to tell you something that is just very recent. The other thing they seem to be targeting is rent portals, where tenants are told to pay their rent through a portal. I don't know how many of you are using those portals. I understand that a reason for using them might be convenience for everybody. You know, everybody's doing thing on the web, on the web now, right? And we have had over my career instances where people, employees at apartment complexes have stolen rent. Told the person they had to pay in cash and then kept the money and maybe not given a receipt or maybe given a receipt. I don't know. But, um, we can usually tell right away because we get people in court who have evidence that they've paid and the landlord doesn't think they have. And, then it's a big mess. Um, I wanted to tell you something that is just very recent. I don't know if any of you watch Channel 4, but last night they had a quote unquote expose about evictions on Channel 4. And they were going after an attorney named Randall Reinker, who's a friend of mine, and I consider him to be a good lawyer. I don't do everything the exact way that he does it, but that's why there's more than one of us. Everybody has a different way to do. But they were saying things, how they kind of jump things up. They take people out at court, they take people out into the hall to a side room and they show these little conference rooms we have or a bench and they put like this bench label on this bench. Well, yeah, we take them out into the hall to talk to them because the judge doesn't want all that din inside the courthouse. I mean, that's what we're supposed to do. Um, the the thing that I consider the most concerning about this, and you can look at the Channel 4 website and you can see this story and they're going to have a sequel tonight, I think, on the Channel 4 news. But the thing I think that's most concerning about this is the way some lawyers represent landlords at evictions is they take the rent in themselves and they keep a percentage of it and send the rest to the client. We don't do that at my firm. I don't think it's a good practice, but there are some lawyers who do that. And some of them will say that the attorney's fees are part of the rent. And because they're keeping a percentage of the rent that they're collecting a lot more attorney's fees than might be considered reasonable. Um, really, the law says that you can only evict someone if they haven't paid the rent or the court costs. You can put some of those other costs in the judgment, but you can't evict them for those. So if they pay the rent, they basically get to stay in a rent and possession. The other thing that they seem to be targeting, and Randall has been sued for the eviction practices along with one of his clients. The other thing that they seem to be targeting is rent portals, where tenants are told to pay their rent through a portal. I don't know how many of you are using those portals. I understand that a reason for using them might be convenience for everybody. Everybody's doing thing on the web, on the web now, right? And we have had over my career instances where people, employees at apartment complexes have stolen rent. Told the person they had to pay in cash and then kept the money and maybe not given a receipt or maybe given a receipt. I don't know. But, um, we can usually tell right away because we get people in court who have evidence that they've paid and the landlord doesn't think they have. And, then it's a big mess. Um, so I understand the portals, but some uh, people that have these portals, some landlords will turn the portal off if they send them to eviction. We don't think you really need to do that. You can keep taking the money. You can keep taking the money through the portal. If it's an unlawful detainer where we want them out no matter what, we're going to tell you not to accept rent in any fashion. And then you might want to turn the portal off. But the law even allows you, if you accept rent in an unlawful detainer, you may have created a new tenancy. However, if you accept rent through an automatic payment system in an unlawful detainer, and then when you realize that it was accepted by an automatic system, you refund it right away, then you're going to be okay. So I urge all of you to have those portals to consider um, not shutting them off when someone has been sent for eviction. If it's a rent in possession, they get to pay the rent and stay under the law. So you really shouldn't be refusing rent. And if they pay a partial payment, that doesn't stop you from proceeding until they've paid in full. That's why Christine and Chris in my office try to get hold of everybody the day before court to say, give us an updated ledger, tell us what the balance is now, that kind of thing, so that we can be accurate on the day of court with what the person owes. I really like it when someone sends us a ledger very close to court, because then the person comes in and they have all these payments that they think they've made. And I show them the ledger and say, show me on the ledger, where you're missing, where you think there's a payment that you made and where it's missing. And they generally can't do that. They've just not been realistic in their mind about how far behind they are and how much they owe and that kind of thing. We are fairly modest for our attorney's fees, and we always get them approved by the court. In fact, I've had judges tell me that we should charge more. But while a person's still in possession, we would not keep a third of their rent as a fee. We wouldn't do that. We'll do that afterwards if we're pursuing them for collection, but we won't do that while they're still in the property. And I'm not sure that that's a good practice. And it looks like, this other attorneys and landlords are getting sued for doing this. So I would urge caution with respect to that. You all probably know, I don't know if I need to mention his name, but there's another attorney who appears in the media a lot and says outrageous things, and he's getting sued multiple times, and he's gotten his clients sued. We try not to do that. No doubt we are aggressive. Have you met Christine? Christine is aggressive. We're not, I'm not going to say we're not sympathetic, because sometimes we are sympathetic to the tenants, but that doesn't mean we're not sympathetic to our clients more. Our duty is to our clients, and we're going to do that duty, but we don't need to do it in a mean way or an aggressive way that will draw attention and draw a lawsuit. We can be just as effective being polite to people in court, giving them a trial setting if that's what they want, and that kind of thing. And I think our strength is that we are very accurate with what we have in court, what the monies that are owed, and that kind of thing. And apparently there have been, in these other lawsuits where lawyers and landlords are getting sued, maybe there's allegations that rent was inaccurate and that kind of thing. They also said that Randall, when he took rent from the tenants, would put it in his lawyer trust account, like this was a shocking, horrible thing. That is our obligation. If we get money for someone, for a client, we have to put it in our trust account. That's required by the bar and that kind of thing. Sometimes if we get money, we'll turn it directly over to our client without going through the trust account. But if it's someone that we're gonna have to mail it to, or they're out of town, or it's cash and I don't want it in my office, we're gonna put it in the trust account. That's exactly right. The Lauren Traeger on Channel 4 made that sound shocking, but it's really an appropriate way to behave. So I don't think Randall has really done anything wrong, but he's done some things that look wrong and that the media is exploiting. So you might want to get on your computers and pull up the Channel 4 website, and you can see this story. And like I said, they said there's a follow-up tonight at 6:00. So I don't think it's me, because nobody's called me, but we'll see who they're going after next or what they're doing. And we may have just moved into a time when we can't be, where we have to, handle things a little more delicately than we used to. Yeah, I need to retire, but I mean, I'm okay with it. I don't mind when I go to court on behalf of my clients. I don't mind talking to people in a polite way and that kind of thing. If they are not nice back to me, I set the case for trial. I mean, if I can't work something out, I'm going to set the case for trial. Then they can see how sympathetic the judge is going to be to them, when they start yelling at them. So that generally doesn't work. It doesn't work for anybody, including our former president, to yell at a judge or be disrespectful in the court and that kind of thing. And so we're going to try to continue to be low key and polite and not get sued and not get our clients sued. So I'll be interested to come back on next month and see if you guys have had a chance to watch those news stories and see what you think. But don't ever think that we're not on your side. We just might have to be nice. I fake it better than Christine, but it's kinder, gentler evictions, right? So that's my little lecture for today. In the courts, we seem to be just putting along. We're a fairly new judge in the city who is very slow and seems kind of tentative and gets flustered if a lot is coming at her at once, and we're hoping that she'll do better with experience. We have a situation in the county where a judge was promoted, and so we don't have a permanent judge right now. They're picking a new one, so different judges are filling in for us. That seems to be going well so far. We get along with all the judges, and they know that we show up on time and we're prepared, so we don't tend to get in trouble. But we're sort of in Judge of the Week club. Christine was very pleased to have Judge Ellen Dunn yesterday because a tenant showed up 45 minutes late for trial, and the judge just said, well, you're late, I already took a default, too bad. And we were just like going, yes. Of course, we're there, but our client has to come for a trial. And if the person is late, our client is sitting there and they have better things to do too. So we were very pleased to have the judge take that position about someone who was drastically late. I think that for city landlords, the city doesn't seem to be real organized yet on their right to counsel. We've heard that legal services is going to be picking up that duty and that it's going to start July 1st. The thing that you should know right away, particularly if you do your own evictions or you use a different lawyer than us, God forbid, you should know that starting July 1st, I think you're going to need to send out a notice to your tenants that gives them the contact information for the free lawyers that the city is going to provide to them. And here is how, as soon as I get that contact information or handout or whatever it is, I will send it to John so it will be on your website for you to download and utilize. The thing that we've heard about how this is going to work is that legal services is going to do the work, and they're going to do it similar to the way it's being done in Kansas City. They will open up the phone lines on Monday morning, and like the first 12 tenants that call will get represented, and everybody else will have to roll over to the next week or go to court without a lawyer. So I don't think that's going to be too onerous. We'll see. We get along with the legal services attorneys for the most part. Christine was making Susan Alverson shake in court yesterday because she got mad at her, but for the most part, we get along with them. And, we'll hope to make deals with them just as we do now. I think it's a huge waste of the city's money, and I doubt that they will administer the program efficiently or effectively, but we'll see how it goes. And I'll keep keeping you posted about how that's going to be. Okay. So any questions? Oh, let me look at the chat. There's some chat. Oh, somebody is somebody's AI is on, taking a transcript. Okay. Oh, Amber, thank you. She posted the link, I think, to First Alert 4. So hopefully you can watch that shocking video of people being evicted because they didn't pay, but they told the landlord they were going to pay, so they never should have had suit filed. If I had a dime for everybody who said, well, I was going to pay, I'd be back on my cruise ship.
It's actually funny because show me the money.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kathy. Boy, that's a lot going on right there.
It's a lot, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't get to see you last month because I was, I don't know, in St. Thomas looking for turtles with a snorkel, but
They pay their bills though.
yeah.
Boy, I'll tell you, I appreciate this so much. We always look forward to you coming on here and filling this in. Like I said, at the beginning, you're the one that actually got us started doing this because we had some chat back and forth on our emails and with all the things with COVID and everything, you helped us set this up to talk every week about what was going on, and we appreciate your updates way more than you ever think. One thing I do want to say is you were on a podcast a couple of days ago, and I want to share that link, which I'll share later, and we will watch the Channel 4. What is your contact information that you would like to give out, Kathy, just so we have that?
Our telephone number is 314-962-1115. As most of you probably know, Christine does the county evictions. Chris does the other counties. We are, and I do other weird stuff. We have a office mate named Donald Folk, who's not in our firm, but he shares space with us. And we have been so busy that we are going to start referring some things to him to help out. And first of all, I want to tell you that Donald does Illinois evictions regularly. We have never done them because none of us are licensed in Illinois, but he is. So if you have Illinois evictions, same phone number, 314-962-1115, and ask for Donald Folk, and he can help you out in Illinois. And we are also probably going to be giving him some of the housing court work, because we're just in court too much to cover all that. We got like what, 812 municipalities in St. Louis County. I mean, it's a lot of court. And also, I want to tell you that my daughter, Chris's wife, Bonnie Bosler, where is her phone number? She has gone to work for John Banjak at the Banjak Law Firm, and he also owns True Title. And so I am sending her a lot of things like lease drafting and title issues and that kind of thing. And Bonnie's phone number is 314-435-1061. She's a good lawyer. She worked for me for a while. Some of you might remember her. She went inside with Cushman and Wakefield for a while, where she did a lot of lease administration and that kind of thing. So she's got some strengths there that I think are really going to be helpful to some of you guys. I definitely would have her review your lease and that kind of thing if you think that you need that. I think particularly with this right to counsel thing in the city that possibly could spread to other municipalities, you're really going to want to make sure your leases are tight and you have good stuff in there, like a jury trial waiver and attorney's fees for you and that kind of thing. So I know I talk about attorney's fees and jury trial waivers a lot, but those are going to be even more important, because if a tenant has a lawyer and the lawyer can request a jury trial to drag things out, they will do it. And a jury trial is expensive to try. It's a couple of days worth of paying a couple of attorneys. So it's not a cheap thing. Okay, a lease template for us to use. Bonnie, call her. I mean, I'm not sure what she does, but Chris has one too, but Chris is so busy with all the counties that he covers that, like I said, we're referring people to Bonnie. So she's Bonnie Bosler, 314-435-1061. Tell her mom told you to call her.
Okay, great. And I do have a copy of the lease that Chris shared with me last month, right before the trip. So if anybody wants to have the one you guys shared, I'd be happy to do that if you just ask me for it. So, wow. Thank you very much, Kathy.
Okay, friends.
Really, and I do just want to say that if you need any kind of attorney, Kathy is the one to talk to, because she's probably the most ethical attorney I've ever talked to. I know you're really respected by the judges, the ones I've seen, and I mean, one of the keys in what you've touched on right now is to get your lease done right up front. You're still not, it's not going to be a save all end all, because there are professional renters out there, which I have ran into a couple myself, that know how to play everything, and they'll take you down to the jury trial to spend as much money. And what happens most of the time is they're buying extra time and not pay you. And then, things add up and your property doesn't get better. I'll just tell you that right up front. But Kathy is the one to get in touch with. We so much appreciate you, Kathy. You're just so invaluable to our whole area, and your firm is too. We just thank you very much.
I appreciate that so much. I remember when we started these, and Chris and Christine and I were in my conference room on my cell phone, and it probably wasn't that professional, but you guys have really grown this into a great, valuable thing. And there's one more thing. When I come back next month, I'm hopefully going to have more information about the Corporate Transparency Act and the responsibility to file that. You have this whole year to do it, but we don't want anyone to wait at the last minute. But we're working up some procedures on that and that kind of thing. And I think we'll be able to answer your questions next month about that.
Thank you. Well, we'll look forward to that.
Okay. See you later, guys.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Kathy.
Have a great early spring.